Nearly 40 different Rolls Royce currently in service. Almost 200 rare and unique licence plates in a place that you probably wouldn't imagine. This is AW Lymn, the Family Funeral Service, and today we're going to chat to the owner and have a look around their incredible fleet of Rolls Royce. Welcome back to Resto Revival. I'm your host Will. Let's get into it. Nigel, thank you for joining me. We're here today to talk about your marvellous car collection. But it's fair to say that the family business and cars have been intertwined for many years. So give us a sort of whistle-stop tour on the family business.
Well, the family business exists from some time in the 19th century, but it was 1907 when my great-grandfather and grandfather decided, rather than just dealing with house cleaners, general merchants and mangle manufacturing, that there was a need for someone to offer to clear houses in exchange for providing a funeral service. And so in 1907, that's what they started to do. Fast forward to the end of the First World War, and my grandfather was released from the Army Royal Flying Corps. Yeah. I can't remember the exact name, but it was part of the army, to come home to Nottingham because of the flu epidemic. And that was really when the business morphed from doing everything and just a few funerals to becoming a proper funeral director. But of course, in those days, everything was horse-drawn, and we used to predominantly have have vehicles for the funerals, horse-drawn vehicles from the local carriage master. Yeah. But as time progressed, we needed to get our own horses, we needed to get our own stables, and it's quite interesting when you look in the old files, because I've got accounts for the company going back about 95 years, and when you look now and you have motor depreciation, in there was deceased horses, of course, as an entry on the profit and loss accounts for those days. But we got to the 1930s and there was a move ahead towards becoming motorised. Grandfather and great-grandfather initially started, I believe, with Austins, and then realised that the correct vehicle, they thought, to maintain the prestige impression that they'd been trying to create for the family business, was to move on to Rolls Royces. And so we they bought a Springfield Ghost, which they converted to a hearse, putting an original horse-drawn hearse body onto the chassis of the Springfield. We had various Ghosts, and they morphed into having a complete fleet of Rolls Royces. Time progressed. My father and my uncle were then in the business. They maintained the love of Rolls Royces. So we maintained this business of trying to run Rolls Royces, trying to run the prestige fleet. But really, post 1971, Rolls Royce no longer made a limousine. We tried initially to run Silver Clouds, but that just didn't work. And so I took in the mid 1980s the decision that the only way we could continue with 6-passenger limousines was to build them ourselves. The regulations with regard to the individual type approval changed massively in the early 2000s or late 1990s, and it became increasingly difficult to take a car and stretch it in the UK. So we took the decision to move on to the Phantom 7s, and at that stage we decided we would keep the saloons as 4-passenger vehicles and build the hearses in Italy, where we got bigger support from the manufacturer Rolls-Royce in Italy, and we found the Italian coach builders had a flair. So if we go back, we then became a side interest in number plates. Initially, it was when we were running the fleet of Phantom 7s, and some were newer than others, and of course we'd come post 65, and there was year letters on cars, and you would have people say, well, why have I got the oldest year letter when the other funerals got the newest? And the real answer was it was logistics as how we worked vehicles across.
Yeah.
But we took the decision then to buy cover plates. So no one was really aware, because externally the vehicles looked exactly the same, whether they'd got the newest vehicle or the oldest vehicle. I was then offered a number of registrations in one deal, which was YKP1 and 1 YKP, YKN1 and 1 YKN, GUW1 and 1 GUW, and 2 GUW. And that really set us on the road, because we were able to strike a deal. And you get these, you think, well, that's fantastic. We've now got 7 number 1 registrations. That's got to be enough for our needs. But of course it isn't. You then find that with the size of our fleet, you haven't got enough. And so I then became interested in acquiring more numbers. I became associated with a number of the dealers, saying, well, do you really hold this massive stock that you seem to hold? And of course they don't. And so people who are interested in numbers generally start off with something which is a cover plate. They strive to improve it. And one of the difficulties that the dealers have is if someone is sat on a number like XYZ1 and they're suddenly offered a number that is their own initials, they assume the XYZ1 will sell very easily and very quickly. And it won't, because there weren't the people out there to buy. So we took to underwriting these numbers, and our collection began to grow, and we ended up eventually being known as someone that would pretty much buy for a reasonable sum any numbers that were available, and very often helping people who just from a cash flow point of view had a difficulty.
Yeah.
And having a look now, we are just shy of a collection of 200 number 1s. So all our vehicles display number 1s.
Yeah.
A lot of our senior staff have number 1s from us on loan, on free loan, and we have an enormous amount just on retention.
That's amazing. What are you comfortable telling us the figure of what you think all of those number plates are worth?
We don't view them particularly on the value, but they are an asset that we have, and I suppose that it's not unreasonable to say if we have 200 number 1s, they're going to be worth at least £10,000 each. It's unlikely that you might buy a number 1 at slightly less than that now, but there are many in there that are worth considerably more.
Yeah.
We have quite a collection of those with 2 letters and a number 1. So they are generally worth more than 3 letters and a number 1.
Yeah, they're worth a good sort of 5-6 figures, aren't they?
Yes, they can be, very much so.
Yeah. So coming back to the fleet, you've got probably more Phantom 7s than anything else, is that right?
That now is the case, and you're probably going to ask me how many we've got, and I'm probably going to be embarrassed to say on any particular day I can't tell you.
Yeah.
Because I simply can't. Because we do not buy new, we seek opportunities to buy, and sometimes we are slightly overfleeted and sometimes we're slightly underfleeted. But over recent years, with the passion that my son Matthew has for cars, and myself, and we have this great guy running our own fleet maintenance department, Luke, we've tried to recreate some of what we had in the past. So we now have 1930s 25-30 fleet. We've got a 1960s or on the cusp of 1970 Phantom 6 fleet. We've kept one of our old Silver Spirit hearses that we built because, we built it. It's the last one we've got. Do we really want to get rid of it? So we've got those, and they are still used on a regular basis. And then we've collected a Phantom 2, which was a lovely hooper-bodied Phantom 2. And as time progresses, we say, well, just a minute, we've got a Phantom 2, we've got a Phantom 6, we've got several Phantom 7s, or dozens of Phantom 7s.
Yeah.
We have a Phantom 8, which we're looking at to work out how we can do a change on that. Wouldn't it be nice to have a Phantom 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 and 8?
Yeah.
So we've managed to acquire a Phantom 3.
Yeah.
A Phantom 4 is pretty much an impossibility. There were only 15 made, and everyone was supplied to a head of state or royalty. And if you're collecting cars, to have something like a Phantom 4, the amount of money that would be required would be beyond a reasonable level, and you would then be frightened to use it. And everything we have, we want to be able to be used. We want to be there to demonstrate our brand. And even if a car is not in the usual fleets that we're offering, if somebody came along and said, oh, my grandfather had a Phantom 2, I'd like a Phantom 2, and we've got one, we will use that and provide that for a funeral. Phantom 4 would be very much a tall order, and I cannot see the value that is in them. You know, you will be paying over £1 million, I would think, for a Phantom 4. Yeah. So at the moment we don't have a Phantom 4, but I know there's an ambition that one day we might find one, or things might change, or there'll be one that needs a major rebuild, and you can then think about, well, we could potentially do that in-house, but we don't have one at the moment.
Yeah.
People used to say the only ride you get in a Rolls Royce is at your funeral. Most funeral vehicles are not now Rolls Royce. As far as I am aware, there's only 2 other firms in the country that offer Rolls Royce Phantom 7s, and if you went to either of those, you would be able to get 1 or 2 vehicles. You can't put a fleet out anywhere in the UK unless it's provided by us. We will provide that to other funeral directors. It's something that's unique, and when you see them all running with the number 1 registration on, I have to say it gives Matthew, Sister Jackie, Chloe, mum, daughter, all of us a pride to see something that nobody else can match. Yeah. But you can be a part of that as a family and have a funeral with us at a very, I don't know whether modest is the right phrase to use, but people shouldn't be frightened that we're going to be massively more expensive than anybody else. Yeah. That's simply not true. Yeah. We use our fleet efficiently. We run through 28 funeral homes. We service something like 3,000 families a year, and we try to do that by working efficiently, but by then giving good quality merchandise and a good quality fleet.
Yeah, that perfectly encapsulates why you've gone down the Rolls-Royce route.
We are aware that if we were purely motivated by money, we could run a much cheaper fleet and charge substantially the same as we're charging now. So I did mention that we try to keep our costs down, even though we're running these vehicles. Yeah. The one advantage that we tend to have is the life expectancy of service that we can achieve out of the Phantom 7s, as opposed to the vehicles that are available for funerals from other sources, such as the Fords, the Mercedes, because they are converted passenger carrying vehicles, whereas our conversions are still based on the passenger carrying vehicle, but they are very much a coach built thing, because there isn't a run of them. We built 7 of the Phantom 7 hearses. There are differences between each of them. You could say each one's a prototype, but we actually are able to be there talk to the manufacturer, talk to the guys on the ground who are doing the building, talk to the girls who are doing predominantly the leather work, etc. We can achieve these things.
That's great. Well, thank you for your time today. I really appreciate the sort of backstory to the business, and I'm looking forward to seeing the rest of the fleet.
Well, I really hope you enjoy it. We find it exciting, we find it stimulating, we find that we are proud of what we have. But I always say that people look at the fleet and get the wrong impression. Because to us, really, the fleet that we have is only like knitting machines to a knitwear manufacturer.
Yeah.
Without them, we would not be able to do our business. So we need the fleet, we need the vehicles.
Yeah.
It's just that we elect to go for vehicles which have #1 registrations on them and are generally Rolls Royce.
Yeah.
That's the way we try to set ourselves apart.
Yeah.
And that's what we're so proud of. And that's something that we've been doing for nearly 100 years.
Yeah, that's amazing.
Thank you very much for your time.
Thanks for your time.
Thank you.
Really appreciate it. So now I'm here with Luke, and he's going to show us around the eclectic Rolls Royce collection. So Luke, thanks for your time.
No problems.
Let's start in sort of chronological order then.
Yep.
What do we have here?
So here we've got a 1931 Phantom 2. She's been in our fleet for quite some time now. We don't actually use this one for funerals as such. You can do if that's what you want, if people see it, and we can. But there's only me, myself and Nigel and Matthew that can drive it.
Yeah.
So we tried to keep this one sort of tucked out into the private collection type thing.
Yeah.
But yes, so this is a straight 6, a 38, limousine body by Hooper. We've got some really nice history on this one. It was previously white with cream interior in the back.
Yeah.
And a chocolate coloured interior in the front. But in the last sort of 50 years, it sort of had a bit of a restoration and changed to this sort of colour. And you'll also notice on this particular one, it's got the red Rolls Royce badge, which is quite unusual, because obviously then they go to the black.
Yeah.
There's a bit stories as to why they changed.
Right.
Some say it's from when Henry Royce died, and then they changed to black out of respect and everything else. There's a few other stories. No one really knows the truth.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's the only one of our fleet which has got a red,
cool.
emblem on the front.
Perfect. And then next up?
Yep, so next up is a 1938 Rolls Royce Phantom 3.
Yeah.
This one's quite new to our collection. Again, it's not really a funeral car, it is more of our private collection. This one, being a 3, has a V12 under the bonnet.
Yeah.
Lovely and smooth, sounds amazing. Lovely to drive, and it's got a bit of a sports body on it type thing, and the actual seating configuration is a lot more laid back. It's really nice to drive, to be fair.
Yeah.
Again, it's just a bit of a, not many Phantom 3s around. I don't know the actual number, but yeah, she's a bit of a nice one. So we've only just recently bought her, I think about 4 months ago.
Yeah.
And again, you've got kneeling Spirit of Ecstasy, which is quite unusual. Yeah,
so why the difference? Why standing and kneeling?
I'll be honest with you, you could have whatever you wanted.
Right.
So you can, there's a local bakery to us called Birds.
Yeah.
You might know, being from the area. They had one, I think it was a Phantom 2 that I've been and seen.
Yeah.
And instead of a Spirit of Ecstasy, they actually had the bird.
Really?
Amazing, yeah,
Okay.
Really, really good.
I didn't know that.
So I'm not sure why she is kneeling, if I'm honest. I don't know. But you can have whatever you want. Really.
I just assumed it was always the same.
Yeah, well,
that's interesting.
Yeah. Back in the day, you could do, if you had the money, you could have whatever you wanted.
Yes,
so.
Very cool. And then this one here,
yes,
you actually built as a business, didn't you?
So this particular car we never actually built it into a hearse. It was built as a hearse many years ago. Yeah. And it actually spent a lot of its life in America.
Right.
We then had it shipped back.
Yeah.
We used it for a bit, and it was all black, no hubcaps and stuff. And then recently, about 3 years ago, I did a full restoration on it. So engine came out, engine got overhauled, suspension all done, the wings came off, the body got done, and we changed it to a burgundy over black with the pinstriping. And yeah, she's in quite a lot of use still. A lot of people still like it. It looks nice with horses and everything else. It's a lot more of that to me is a traditional funeral.
Yeah.
And I think it's amazing. Like when you see that and the limousines following it, it looks incredible.
Yeah, I bet.
It does look really good. And we changed the colour scheme because of the limousine that we purchased was a burgundy over red.
Yeah.
And that's very much like the royal colours. So we decided actually the burgundy over red looks quite nice. So that's why we changed it from all black to thinking. But do you know in some lights when you see it you can't actually notice it's burgundy. So that's a 2530.
Yeah.
1938 again, straight six engine.
Yeah.
But yeah, we've had her for quite some time now. I think that might be the longest in the fleet actually.
Yeah.
Not sure.
It's cool.
It is very cool.
So yeah, next up we have this then.
Yes, so this is a silver Wraith. This is a 1958, I think, off the top of my head. We've got this one again. We bought this one just on a bit of a whim. Nigel sort of see it and liked it, so bought it. Again, we don't really use this for funerals. It's more in his private collection. But I tell you what, this goes out a lot with weddings. Because of the cream interior in the back, it photographs really nice.
Yes.
It's still got that old kind of feel. So it gets asked out quite a lot on weddings.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's more just for Nigel's private collection. Obviously, we'd love to have a Phantom 4.
Yeah.
Prices are ridiculous.
Yes.
Anywhere. Well, I know VMP cars have got some for 3 million at the minute. Yeah. So it's just a little bit financially doesn't really work. But we would love to have one of each, a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 and an 8.
Yeah. I mean, you're nearly there.
Very, very nearly, yeah, very, very nearly.
And this doubles as the 3, right?
As the 4,
Sorry,
yeah.
the 4, yeah.
They're not quite the same, but a lot of people say that's a poor man's 4. Yeah. So it's... but again, very, very nice to drive, automatic, straight 6, silky smooth.
I bet. Yeah.
Lovely to drive.
Yeah.
And we don't currently have a Phantom 5, but we are potentially looking for a 5.
Yeah.
And then we go on to the Phantom 6, which we have 3 of these.
Yeah.
We did have 5. I've sold 2 this year. One's gone to Australia, and the other one's gone to a museum in France.
Yeah.
So we've got a hearse version of this, which is currently not here at the minute. And I've also got a bit of a restoration project one round the corner in the garage. But then this is when they went to a V8. And yeah, same again, automatic gearbox, and just lovely to drive. Yeah. Very smooth, very elegant, I believe. Anyway, I think they look very elegant.
Yeah, they do. They've aged incredibly well.
Yeah.
Okay, so from the 6 to the
so then
7.
From the 6 straight to the 7. This is our everyday fleet. So if you book a funeral with us, this is what you will get. We currently have, I think, 22 or 23 of these.
Yeah.
And like I say, these are our everyday cars that you will get from us.
Yeah.
So
why the 7? Why does the 7 offer so much sort of consistency?
They're just again very elegant, very luxurious.
Yeah.
Slightly dated now compared to the 8.
Yes.
But still, if you get in a 7, it's still an experience.
Oh yeah.
And it's a memorable experience, so for people's funerals, for their loved ones, to have something that looks like this pull up, and then when you've got a hearse and 10 of these in a row, it looks spectacular.
Yeah.
And you go down the road and people think, wow, what's happening? It just looks amazing.
Yeah.
So, we started with these back in, I think it was like 2015-ish or somewhere. Yeah. And then, the collections of them have just grown. I have sold a few because we are trying to move on to the Phantom 8s. Yeah. So we're trying to downsize the 7 slightly in order to get some more Phantom 8s. But the price difference is insane.
I can imagine.
So,
whereas this has probably hit the bottom of its depreciation.
Yeah, these have hit the bottom of the depreciation. I picked up a nice one. Carwell actually did a video on it. Oh, yeah. They borrowed it off of us. Yeah. I picked up a nice one and I paid £50,000 for that. And that only had, I can't remember what that had, 40,000 on the clock or something. you know, we got very lucky with that particular car.
Yeah.
You don't get that very often.
No.
But like I say, we was just in the right place at the right time.
Yes. And then your custom builds for the Phantom 7.
Yes,
So they are bespoke built, aren't they?
They are,
Italy?
yes. So they get made in Milan, in Italy, and we'll take a standard Phantom 7,
Yeah.
and we'll chop it right behind the window, and we
Yeah.
add around 1 metre in,
Okay.
and then obviously all the glass and everything else
Yeah.
gets all custom made. The rear quarters on the hearses are all one sheet of custom aluminium,
Really?
so it's all handmade, all hand rolled.
That's amazing.
Very impressive to see, and especially when you see them cut them in half and then extend them on the jigs. It's very impressive to see. And there's only 8 of them built worldwide. The company that actually make them, they've got 1 as a prototype,
Yeah.
and we have the other 7.
Yeah, that's amazing.
So it's
what a-
they're very,
what a claim
they're very,
that is.
I know, they're very special to us. They're very special to us.
So,
But again, because we see them every day,
yeah,
it makes them less special to us, but to everybody else,
Yeah.
you see them. Yeah. So do you want to go have a look at one?
yes, let's do that. What's really interesting about the whole sort of proportion is you've obviously got a massive V12 up front, and then because of the weight issue that Nigel spoke about, you've got no rear seats, and then obviously,
Yeah, so it is only a 2-seater.
Yeah.
But, well, I suppose obviously you can get 3 in it, but
yeah, so 2-seater V12 is basically an Aston Martin.
well, you could put an Aston Martin badge on it.
So yeah, you've obviously removed the back seats because of the weight, so you can put flowers in that middle section.
Yes, yeah.
In terms of some of the coach-built elements then of this
Yeah.
being handmade in Italy, you mentioned that obviously structurally,
Yeah.
it's very different.
Yeah,
What's gone into it?
quite a lot. Obviously, a custom roof.
Yeah.
So believe it or not, the actual roof skin from the standard car is actually underneath that still,
Right, really?
and then they put their own roof on top.
Oh.
And sort of extend it over. Obviously, all the glass is all custom made to these particular cars.
Yeah.
All the rear quarters, with them being all hand built, they're all slightly different. You see,
Yeah.
if you know when you've got all 7 next to each other, you can slightly see that some of the arches are slightly wider
That's
than others
interesting.
and stuff. And then obviously it's all an aluminium chassis underneath, so everything gets chopped in half, extended, put back together, and it's all on a big jig. Gets pulled
Yeah.
apart. The axles, they stay the same, but obviously it's moved back.
Yeah.
Originally, the fuel tank on the 7 limousine is behind the seats,
Yeah.
which has now been moved right behind the rear axle because that's the only space for it.
Yeah.
And
It's all those things that you don't think about, isn't it?
yeah, and
you-
all the air compressor and stuff which was in the boot has all been moved forward because the fuel tank needs to go there now.
Right, yeah.
And then so then we've now got a custom built electric hydraulic deck, which comes out and opens up.
Yeah.
With all lights and everything.
So I wonder in terms of net weight, do you think it will be heavier than the original? Because
I
you've got an
would have.
aluminium frame, but you've taken out the middle seat. So I wonder.
Yeah, I think it is. Yeah, I think they're just under about 3 tonne. But with a great big V12 under the bonnet,
Yeah.
she does still move and does what she needs to do.
Let's round off the collection with the Phantom 8.
Yeah, definitely.
So the Phantom 8 then.
Yes.
Do you think this will eventually become what the 7 is to you now, or do you?
That is our plan
Yeah.
in the future. Obviously, the cost difference is amazing.
Yeah.
You know, for a 2018 with maybe 30,000 miles, you're still looking £250,000.
Yeah.
And then we've still got to take £250,000, cut it in half, extend
That's
it,
very true.
and everything else. So it's a lot of money that particular car needs to make
Yeah.
in order to reclaim what we've spent on it.
Yeah, of course.
But the idea is, I think we will do it, but I don't think we'll have the same size of fleet that we currently have with the Phantom 7s,
Okay.
which is why we're sort of diversifying into electric Mackeys
Yeah.
and other sort of different types of vehicles.
Yeah,
But-
because I wonder, because obviously this is a very different car to that, and we were chatting off camera and I didn't realise how long the Phantom 7 had been in.
So 2002 they came out. If you
2002 to 2000
watch 18, 17, 18.
That's
so-
incredible, really.
Yeah, so they were around for a long time. They facelifted them ever so slightly, did
Yeah.
slight bits and bobs, but
Yeah.
even up to the latest one, they still look very similar.
Yeah. And then you come into this, which is obviously a massive leap forward in terms of technology, but then that brings its own problems.
Exactly, yeah. These are a whole
reliability.
different ball game. These are the technology that this has in it compared to the 7 is crazy.
Yeah.
But they needed to up their game in order to be up there with the likes of the 7 Series, the S-Class, the Maybach.
Yeah.
So I'm not sure Rolls-Royce might have wanted to do it.
No.
But I think they needed to do it in order to.
I think so.
To be there.
I really enjoyed my chat at AW Lymn. Nigel and Luke really epitomise the pursuit and passion for quality service, and that really translate into their fleet and the way that they look after it. It was a real pleasure to hear the story and to see how the business has evolved till it is today. So if you've enjoyed today's story, then please subscribe, give the video a like, and I'll see you next time. Cheers.